A bunion, or hallux valgus, is a deviation that occurs at the joint of the big toe of the foot. We call this big toe the hallux, and the first metatarsal, which is the bone, that comes before the big toe and connects with it. Due to a misalignment in this joint, we can have inflammation in more severe cases, even bone growth. My name is Kelvin, and in this video you're going to learn 3 simple and easy exercises for the well-known bunion. And look, anyone can do these exercises at home to help with this problem, okay? So don't forget, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell. Alright, let's get to the video. Look, I picked out the 6 main risk factors for this problem, for this condition. The first 3 are factors you're born with, okay? And the other 3 are factors you bring into your life because of bad habits. So with these last 3, we can actually make some changes. So the first factor is heredity. 83% of all patients have someone in the family with a bunion, and usually that person is a woman, that person in the family history. Which brings us to our second risk factor, being a woman. The vast majority of patients who have bunions are female, okay, so that's the second risk factor. The third risk factor then is your foot type. There are 3 main types of feet, and yours might be one of them. The first is the Egyptian foot. What is the Egyptian foot like? The Egyptian foot is the one where the big toe is longer than all the other toes. So if you imagine a road, for example, it's like a slope going down. And the vast majority of patients who come into the office with bunions are those who have the Egyptian foot. So the main foot type that develops bunions is the Egyptian foot. Another type of foot is the Greek foot. The Greek foot is the one where the second toe is longer than all the other toes. It's even longer than the big toe. It can also develop bunions, but this is the type of foot where only a small minority of patients have them. So in our analogy of the road, there's an uphill and then a downhill. And the third type of foot is the Roman foot, which is the type I have. So in our road analogy, that's the foot where the line is straight. So this is also a type of foot that doesn't have much risk factor for bunions. In fact, the Egyptian foot is the type where most patients come to the office with bunions. So comment below. Let me know in the comments what type of foot you have. Do you have an Egyptian foot, a Roman foot, or a Greek foot? Comment below because I want to know. And check the comments down here too to see who else has the same type of foot as you. If someone has the same type of foot as you, give their comment a like. So now we get to the other 3 risk factors, which are habit-related factors. These are the ones you can change so we can improve the bunion situation. So come with me. The 4th factor is wearing inappropriate shoes. What are inappropriate shoes? Those shoes, especially the ones with a pointed toe. So what does this type of shoe do? It pulls the big toe joint inward and squeezes all the toes together. But the big toe is the one that suffers the most from this. So avoid wearing pointed toe shoes for the love of God. Everything in nature, including us, adapts and adjusts to the environment it's placed in. So if your feet are put into a really tight environment, they really will try to mold themselves to that environment. Have you ever seen how square watermelons are made? A few years ago, photos of square watermelons, instead of round ones, went viral on the internet. How did they make the watermelon square? They would plant the watermelon inside a cube, okay, and the watermelon would grow inside that cube and end up square. So it's the same thing with your feet. If you put your feet in an environment that's not natural, they'll try to adapt, and that's when bunions appear. So the right kind of shoes are those whose front part is more square or rounded and doesn't have a pointed toe. So when you go to buy shoes at the store, you need to pay attention to 2 things. The first is really the front part of the shoe. It can't have a pointed toe. It has to be round or square, and it needs to give your toes space. And you also need to go to the store at the end of the day to buy them. If you go to the store in the morning, what will happen? Your feet swell at the end of the day because we spend a lot of time standing, right? And when we wake up in the morning, our feet are less swollen because we've been lying down, okay? When we stand up, gravity does its job. The blood flows more downward than upward, and your feet really do get more swollen. So buy your shoes in the evening, because by then your feet will already be a bit more swollen than in the morning. And if you buy shoes in the morning, what will happen is that when evening comes, your feet will swell and the shoes will feel tight. The 5th risk factor is flat feet, or fallen arches. So take a look at your feet. See if they tend to roll inward, if they're more pronated. How do you fix that? With exercises, which we'll look at in a bit. So stick around, because I'm about to show you the exercises. And the 6th and last, but not least, in fact, one of the most important risk factors, is a weakened abductor hallucis muscle. This muscle is very important in treating bunions. Why is that? It's responsible for spreading the big toe, moving it outward, for creating that opening, that abduction of the hallux. There are two other muscles called the adductors of the hallux, and these two muscles pull the big toe, the hallux, inward. They pull the big toe toward the inside, okay? So think about it with me. Which one is going to be stronger? One muscle by itself or two? It depends. If you're in a tug of war and you're alone against two other people, what's going to happen? You're not going to win unless you're stronger than both of them together. If you're stronger than both of them combined, then you win. Otherwise, you're going to lose. In our foot analogy, it works the same way. If these two muscles, which are the ones that, when they're too strong, cause bunions, are actually stronger than this one here by itself, the one that fixes the bunion, which is the abductor hallucis muscle, as you can see in this image. So you can see exactly which muscle I'm talking about. It's on its own in this situation. If the two muscles that do the opposite are stronger, it's going to lose this battle. And then the big toe starts turning inward, keeps moving inward, and that's when we get a bunion. Now, if the abductor hallucis muscle, the one for the big toe, is stronger than the other two, it wins this battle, okay? And it readjusts, realigns the big toe joint. So strengthening this muscle is really important for us to be able to fight bunions. So yes, a bunion is a problem that progresses. But when we talk about progression in medicine, we're not talking about getting better, that the bunion will improve. If the bunion isn't taken care of, it's only going to get worse. And then, yes, the only solution for this problem will be surgery. So for you who are still at the beginning stage of a bunion, and your bunion is not at the stage of progression you're seeing in this image, follow these exercises and do them every day at home. So before we get to the exercises, it's important for me to remind you, this video does not replace a consultation with a specialist. So if the exercises cause pain in your case, or if symptoms persist, seek out a trusted healthcare professional. If I am that professional for you, my schedule is open starting from July 2022. You can have an in-person consultation with me if you're from Curitiba or the surrounding area. But if you're from anywhere else in Brazil or the world, you can also have a consultation with me through a teleconsultation, okay? A consultation via video call. To book either type of appointment with me, I'll leave the link here in the description, alright? The first link in the description, just click it and you can schedule starting from July 2022. So, to do the exercises, you'll need a ball like this, okay? A tennis ball. If you don't have a tennis ball, you can use any ball that's about the same size, alright? And the firmness should be similar to a tennis ball. It's not a problem if you don't have a tennis ball. Besides the ball, you'll need a band like this, okay? A band in a small towel or a blanket, a piece of cloth, alright? So, something like this. You'll need this too. These three simple things. Let's go. Great! Now, the first exercise you're going to do is with a ball like this. If you don't have one, that's okay. You can use that spiky ball you have at home. Or you can click the link in the description and buy a ball like this for yourself, alright? How is the movement going to be? You're going to step on the ball and put your weight on it and slide forward, with your leg going forward. Then come back, release the weight onto the ball, and slide. How long? Until you feel that all the soft tissues in your foot, your plantar fascia, are relaxing, okay? And then we'll move on to other exercises. What about the speed? If you do it too fast, it'll be too harsh on your feet. So you can do it like this. 5 seconds to go forward and 5 seconds to come back, doing it really slowly. Alright? Okay, now with a band like this, what are you going to do? First, you're going to spread all your toes apart. A bunion happens when your toes are closer together, more squeezed in. So you're going to spread all your toes, okay? This is really to activate the abductor muscle of your big toe, the hallux. And then you're going to step on the band with your big toe, just like you see here. If you don't have a band like this, there's also a link in the description. Or you can go to those sewing supply stores, for example, and buy some waistband elastic. That'll work too, okay? So, it's important to have a band, and there's no secret to it. So, step on the band with your big toe. Really focus on spreading all your toes apart. Especially open up your big toe, work that abductor hallucis muscle, okay? And that's the first stage of the exercise. Hold it there for a bit, and then we'll move on to the second stage. So, what's the second stage? You're going to go up on your tiptoes, alright? So, you'll stay up on your tiptoes and then come back down. When you're up on your tiptoes, you can do 3 sets, okay? Of 10 repetitions each. Meanwhile, keep your toes spread apart the whole time. That way, you're working the flexor hallucis, the abductor hallucis, and also the posterior tibial muscle. All of these muscles are important for fighting bunions. Finally, with a small towel, you're going to keep it on the floor. You'll step on it, alright? And you're going to do a toe flexion movement. That's it. And at the end of the movement, you can really spread your toes wide. Exactly. Do the flexion and spread your toes wide. You can do up to 60 repetitions of this one. You can split it into 3 sets of 20, okay? So flex your toes well with the towel or whatever cloth you have at home. And at the end, spread your toes wide. So do these exercises that I prepared for you with a lot of care. And comment down below. Write in the comments if this is helping you or not. Don't forget, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. And if you know someone who has bunions, send them this video. You could be helping that person too. Thank you so much for staying until the end, and bye-bye.